of your home, whether it's in, if you got to go 3 blocks to pick up something, don't get in my pickup truck and drive there and back. I have to change my way of thinking. I have to change my dynamics. Being a individual that grew up in the 60s, green was always secular and new age, and a guy with a ponytail down to here, tie-dyed shirt, maybe on some mind-altering chemicals, hugging a tree. And we laughed at that in the Midwest. Okay, we laughed at that. And now, 40 years later, we've talked about it, but we haven't done anything. Now's the time for us to step up to the plate and do something. Because it's not about any of us. It's about our grandchildren, our great-grandchildren, and that legacy that we're going to leave for the end of this 21st century. We have the opportunity to be the new pioneers of the 21st century, and that pioneering is going to be through renewable energies, for being good stewards of those resources we've been blessed with. Now, this might be hard for some of you to see back there, but as a community, we decided that these were the things that meant something to us, and we wanted to implement in the rebuilding process. It needed to be about community. There's a real longing in our society today. Clear across the United States, people are looking to have that sense of community back. They remember back going to grandma's or great-grandma's house, to that fried chicken dinner and apple pie. And they remember the times that they were with their roots, and with their family, and their faith, their family, and their friends. And that's what's drawing people to Greensburg right now, because they're seeing a community, and a community is doing something. I'm bragging a little, but I really think that's the case. And you all wouldn't be here if you didn't think Greensburg was offering some hope and some good news. And I'm a firm believer that's the story. It's not the tornado, it's not rebuilding back sustainable. It's that we need to keep uplifting each other and keep offering hope. Everything we're doing in the sustainable, renewable, eco-friendly field is the right and proper thing. I'm going to go right down to one that is highly critical in western Kansas, and that's water. You know, we talk about energy conservation. Well, quite frankly, my ancestors didn't have to worry about fossil fuels on the plains of western Kansas. They burned cow chips and buffalo chips, and they were able to cook and heat water. They lived fine. But none of us are going to be able to live without water. And if you don't believe that, look at Mars. The reason there's no inhabitants on Mars is there's no water. We, as a society, need to really take care of our resources, and water is the one thing that is going to keep us going more than anything. We've got to have clean, reliable sources of water, and it's not about producing more and finding more. We've got to start thinking about conservation, not only in water, but in energy conservation and in our consumption. My generation has been voracious consumers of goods and services. We have bought the newest cell phones, we have bought the newest TVs, we have bought everything new. The latest technology come out, we got to have it. I'm as guilty as any. Now, when you lose everything, you find out that none of that really matters. Changes your priorities of what you got in life. You have to decide when we're consuming things, and me too, is what value of this gizmo that I'm buying, what's it going to add to my life? What value is it? And I had a gentleman explain that the other day about his wristwatch. He says, all I want out of a wristwatch is to tell the time within a few minutes of the day and the day of the week and month. Now, you can go to the big box discount store and buy one of those that'll do everything for you for $15. Or you can go to a jewelry store and buy a $10,000 Rolex. Now, a $10,000 Rolex doesn't do me any good because I couldn't figure out how to figure out all the buttons on it. So we need to think about what adds value to our lives, and what value am I adding to any situation. So we came up with the idea that this is what we'd like to, we want to get back to a tree-lined community. We want to get back to where it looks something like the past, but it can't ever be what it was. Our website, greensburgks.org, has our Sustainable Master Plan on that. I would encourage you to peruse that at your convenience. Please do not print that off unless you are very serious about it. We need to save the paper. After the debris was all clear and in a planning process, we realized right off the bat the number one thing, as I shared earlier, was water. We needed water, a constant water supply for our citizens and for fire protection. So the first facility of any kind, structure back, was the new water tower. What it did for us as a community, not just the water, but it was a beacon of hope. A beacon to the community that, yes, we're building back. Something sticking up that you can see 10 miles in either direction from. People traveling down Highway 54 that says, yes, that community's coming back. Because there has been questions of why would a community, a small community in the middle of nowhere, even think about rebuilding. And the gentleman that told me that, I said, well, sir, you got two things wrong. Number one is it's our home. This is where we live. This is where we're raised. This is where our kids went to school. And number two, we're in the middle of everywhere. All in the perspective. Also had University of Kansas architectural students. Some of you watched Greentown on or Greensburg show on the Green Channel have seen this. We have had initially, this is private, not public, non-municipal facility as far as financing is concerned. But we had some people of the population that said, why are they doing that when we need something else? Well, I'll tell you why. We needed beauty back in the community. And the director has just got so many great exhibits in since they've opened up. And that beauty is something that you can go into the gallery and you can see, and for even if it's 20 minutes, get away from the destruction that you've been dealing with for 2 years. In December of 2007, the City Council passed a resolution to build all municipal buildings at the U.S. Green Building Council LEED Platinum level. Well, this building was the first LEED Platinum in the state of Kansas. And it has green roof and solar panels and wind turbines. And I always get a kick out of now the real buzzword in our society is we got to have green roofs because of all the things it helps us with the insulation and the beauty and all that. I reflect back on my ancestors on the plains of Kansas. They grew up in green roofed homes. They were called sod houses. The second LEED Platinum facility is also a private funded facility. 32-unit apartment complex, 2 and 3 bedrooms that are very traditional built, very like they would fit in any community in the Midwest right here. Certified LEED Platinum. Utility bills are running those people all electricity from anywhere from $60 to $65 a month. And it's very traditional construction. It's 2-to-6 construction. But it was designed so that, as our house was earlier, we went through that process. It was designed in multiples of 4 or 8 foot. Because that's how your drywall comes, that's how your OSB board comes, and that's how your 2x4 studs or 2x6 studs come. When you start putting on bay windows and you start doing some fancy things, it just adds a tremendous cost to your home and tremendous waste to the landfill or wherever you can find a place to recycle it. In the lower section is our eco home, Greensburg, Greentown. It's all concrete, what we call silo home. Beautiful house. When I first walked in when it was built, I thought, I'm feeling sorry for the spiders. Where corner are they going to go to build their cobwebs? So in a roundhouse, you don't have the cobweb problem. We also understood as a community we need businesses. We need employment. We got to have places for people to work. every business in town lost their storefront. So the business incubator building is 12 spaces where people can come in, open a business, get their feet underneath them, get a cash flow going for them for 3 to 5 years, and then hatch out of that into their own facility. It is already full, has been for several months, and it has the solar panels on the roof over here and passive solar. First municipal building in the state of Kansas to be LEED Platinum.